Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sara Wiseman. Today, we're going forward with our March 2025 channeled forecast. And this is again from the StarGuide messages. You are called to expand your mind. Before we begin, just for those of you who are new today, I've been channeling since 2000, long time, and started channeling as the result of a near-death experience. And that was the beginning of this opening into psychic and spiritual awareness that happened for me, and kind of happened pretty rocky at the beginning. And life has moved on, and the channeling has gotten pretty easy to receive in general from a variety of different guides. I have multiple books out with the channeling in it, and I've been putting them on YouTube and podcast as much as I can. But what interests me most, so these messages are from the star guides, who are really quite newer guides for me and have a different flavor or feeling than many of the other teachers that I've received from. In general, I would say the other teachers, especially Gabriel, who we've been working on in this podcast quite a bit, feels a bit more clear to me, or a little more like I'm really familiar with those ideas. And the star guide messages seem a little more like I haven't grown into them in my own understanding yet. So I'm just trying to have patience with that and sort of trust that those messages have come in to help us along in our progress. And then the other thing, I mentioned this before too, is I usually channel these way in advance, and I do that as kind of for my own enjoyment. I like to compare what I channeled or what I received as a forecast. Like this was channeled back in November. I like to channel what I received and then compare it to what's going on in the world at the time when this releases, is March 2025. So we'll see how that all ties in together. Here we go. The star guide messages: you are called to expand your mind. We do not say oneness is God. We do not use this word now. God is a name that has been misapplied and used to control, so it is not a word that is useful at this time. You have used it before, but it is no longer useful to use this word. Your culture has co-opted the meaning and is using it for control. That's pretty heavy, starting out even. We do not say oneness is love, because oneness does not have a positive feeling or pleasurable aspect. Oneness is not love or nice or good. Love is a frequency, whereas oneness is. It is everything contained in the totality of consciousness, which is infinite. This is the key. Oneness is. So if you try to apply these old, very limited ideas, connection, interconnection, dependence, interdependence, we would say, yes, those are correct, but they are not the whole story. Those are the first paragraphs of the bigger story, which is oneness, which is everything. So you are called to expand your mind. We have given you these ideas many times, and you are starting to understand, but we would say now, the challenge is to help humans understand that they are not the top of the importance chain, not even the top of the food chain. All of that is absolutely incorrect, and we have come here to help you rid yourself of your arrogance and your confusion so you may understand this. Are we coming to other species? Of course, but we do not use language with them, at least not your language. We certainly do not speak English. Ha ha. There is a whisper that is spreading across Earth, and these ideas are from us whispering into your soul and from you hearing us finally. We have waited for the right moment, and now we are here. The Aquarian age allows us to finally be heard, as if you are taking stuffing out of your ears, blinders off your eyes, and opening the very essence of your understanding so that we may finally impart our message to you as something you can understand. And this awakening, this opening, this new understanding is happening across the planet to all species and is activated now. Consciousness arrives to the planet. We have said before, consciousness is recognizing itself. This is something that opens and keeps opening. The levels of opening are infinite, and again, it is not just for humans. This is also happening to other species who communicate differently than humans, but it is still happening. When you are a drop of water and you come into contact with another drop of water, you merge, you meld, you become one. This is what happens in all relationships between all beings and all consciousness. You cannot become separate or isolate from this. Maybe you cannot become separate or isolate from this. No matter how many layers of armor or protection, whether this is physical or spiritual, that you attempt to place upon yourself to keep yourself separate, you cannot be separate. It is impossible. At the particulate level, all things are in continuous arrangement and rearrangement, mixing and melding, forming and reforming, and nothing is immune from this, not even nothing itself. This aspect of oneness is understood by some of you, and you will begin to use this idea of symbiosis and symbiotic relationships to begin to discover and work with healing in a new way. When you apply plants to your cells, the cells respond. When you apply light and music, the same happens. When you apply vibration or frequency, the same happens. When you apply intention, it is the same. You are at the beginning of your learning of this healing field and this way of healing. And what it is about is the symbiotic relationship of what needs to come into wholeness and what is already whole, or what is not whole, provides the missing pieces or the missing vibrational structure that will bring the injury, sick, or desolate part into wholeness again. This is not about vitamins, supplements, drugs, herbs, medicines, surgeries. These are more gross or less subtle ways working with the subtle energies, and absolutely they do work at some level, but they are not the most effective way of healing. They are like applying a sledgehammer when a feather will do. They are like using a jackhammer instead of a dewdrop. It is what you have now, and it works to some extent, but it is too much. We know many will disagree. Many rely on current treatments, which are what you have available now in this time and culture. Yet it is all changing. As you go forward and begin working with plants, not plant medicine, but actual resonance with plants and nature, music, light, vibration, frequency, intention, you will find that these layers of vibration are what the human body responds to more readily, more simply, without resistance. When there is nothing to resist, The cells welcome the vibration, and the vibration shifts the cells to wholeness. The cells prefer wholeness. They shift there readily. The vibrations of symbiosis are dancing with each other. Everything relaxes together, and this allows the particulate to realign with ease and in relaxation and joy. We understand that you may not believe this, you may reject this, you may find it does not add up to the level of scientific proof you seek. We are not concerned with your resistance or your belief. You will simply begin to notice as you connect and relax, and as you connect to those aspects which are symbiotic to you, which are placed in your direct path as helpers, you will notice that you are beginning to change. We say again, music, tone, frequency, light, vibration, and absolutely the integrated whole of nature vibration, plants, water, air, earth, even fire. When you are in these situations, you relax, and the cells, within the cells, the particulate begins to rearrange into wholeness, which is really relaxation and ease. It is the releasing of contraction, of tension. This is what healing is. It is the relaxation of fear, anger, irritation, anxiety, rage. It is the releasing of all frequencies of contention and tension, so that the particulate may rearrange into wholeness. So that's actually, honestly, that's actually a lot to process. And, you know, it's interesting to me because I'm not particularly, I don't do as my process. You know, I'm a psychic reader. I'm a channel. I teach people in groups, but I really don't have this practice of energy healing as something I do. It's not like what I feel like I've been called to do in this lifetime. That could change, but at this point, so it's very interesting to me that all of this stuff is starting to come in about healing, and especially about these ways of healing with, let's see, with music, light, plants, the way when you vibration, frequency. And so this is what so many people, at least where I live here in Portland, Oregon at this time, and all over, it seems like everyone I know around here is working with some modality of healing with these types of frequencies: sound healing, energy healing, plant medicine healing, nature healing, breath work, all of this stuff that is really disdained by most of traditional medicine, and yet the results are coming in as quite a bit better than expected. So all of this time when we've been working on maybe medicine from a place of surgery, so this part of the body is diseased or sick, so we're just going to cut it out, or maybe we're going to bleed it out with leeches, or we're going to sort of attack this part of the body that is struggling, instead of the idea of treating the whole system so that the cells, and beneath the cells, the particulate, rearranges itself into wholeness. What's interesting also to me about this channeling is, I know some other channels that I know that, like, I really respect. There's a lot of discussion about the DNA and the DNA changing, and that's not the specific piece that's come to me. I believe that there are quite a few people who are doing bona fide true channeling work in this world. Some are really well known, some are not known at all. And we are each given, it's almost like we're each given a part of the information. So my part, because of my own not predilection, because of my own affiliation so much with music and dance and voice and sound healing, like I really, really resonate with all of that. And so it makes sense that that is almost like the filter that my information is coming in. Other people might be more sciencey oriented or genetic oriented, and so they're going to receive through like the filter of their knowledge base, through about messages around DNA. Like every channel receives through their best abilities, what they're going to understand most, so that they can receive it and make sense of it. But the bigger idea is this idea that when we align, and they were calling these the symbiotic helpers, that in which we are in symbiosis. So it's almost as if the music, the frequency, the tone, the intention, the sound, and even the plant, the weather, like this thing comes in with a resonance, and then we sort of begin to hum at the same level. And so when you're applying this to cells in the body, you find that which is a resonance, and then the cells come to that place of resonance, so that if your cell was diseased or sick, it was out of resonance maybe, and then you come into resonance and everything relaxes, and the particulate easily reforms itself into a more whole system. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there listening who have medical issues, or they're in poor health, and it's really important to understand that what the star guides are saying is based on where we are going. It doesn't necessarily mean that for you or for me that we're there yet. The most appropriate tool for you at this point in our time and culture and where you live and what's going on for you may be traditional medicine. It may be imperative that you're supposed to work with a traditional medicine practitioner. For others of you, it may be imperative that you're supposed to work with an alternative medical provider who isn't doing any of these things that were discussed. So it's important to remember that we are products of our time and place. And if you're having health issues, you want to work with everything. You want to work with everything available to you in the time and place and culture that you find yourself dropped into in this lifetime. And that's, if these ideas of the particulate coming into resonance, say, don't make sense to you, then you want to work with a different idea. So you're just trying to find what's fitting, what your body will accept as a almost like a belief system it can work with. And so different people, some people will be like, only traditional medicine will work for me. Only alternative medicine will work for me. Only this crazy wild stuff from the star guides is going to work for me. But it's important to use everything and not skip steps in terms of your own health. I wanted to also say, I've been pretty excited that some of the channeling has been coming through, we might call it date stamped. I'll probably discuss this in a different post, but so in the annual forecast for 2025, some of the information was about flying orb cars, and some of the information was about this holograph technology coming up. And just last week, I saw these news articles about flying orb cars And they did have little legs, which was different, but they'll probably get rid of those in the future. And then also this hologram stuff that's being used in retail settings. And it's just very exciting to see what has been foretold or foreseen is now like showing up. And it's also exciting how fast it's coming, because it feels like a lot faster than it would have been in the past. In the past, we might have foreseen 5-10 years later it happens, and now we foresee, boom, it's here. Like this is going to be how things are very, very quickly. Once the awareness is there, the technology takes place, and once that happens, it is taken on or adapted to or adopted by the culture at large. So it's very exciting. This changes how we do everything. All right. Please go to the website. Lots of new stuff there. New ways to work with me, new ways to do this work. Really kind of remarkable. I'm hoping by the time you've watched this, the StarGuide Messages has already been put out as a book. I'm doing this a little advanced. We're working on it right now. Anyway, please dive in. There's lots of information and a lot to know about. Thanks for listening. You will find me at sarawiseman.com, and I will see you next time.